Dear learners, welcome back to my channel. So in the last video, we have created a calendar table in the table view, and we have created a dates, then we have created a year, then month number, and then we have created month. Now, we have also created the relationship between this calendar table that we have just generated and the order table, that is fact. Now, the date column is linked with the order date. So now the relationship is created. Now, whenever we create a relationship into a data model, the first thing that we need to check is in the table view, first of all, we need to make sure that our year, month number, and month is there. And in the report view, we need to check for the data first. Let me just collapse this filter. Now, after creating this thing, the first thing that we need to do is we need to check our data. Now, how we are going to check our data? So for that, we are going to take one variable and we are going to create an explicit measure. Now, let me just show you what is this measure. Now, if you go to this fact order item list, you have the variables which are listed. Here we have something known as subtotal, which is our revenue part. And in the item list, if you just click on it, you will see something known as line total. So line total is basically our revenue that we are going to analyze it. Now, since this is a number data, if you just click and hold it and drag it directly on the canvas, automatically it will take an appropriate chart. So if you see the charts visuals are seen over here in the build visual panel. And if you see, we have different kinds of charts that are there. If you see, first is staked bar chart, then staked column chart, then clustered bar chart, and then clustered column chart. So if you see, when we have selected, you can resize this chart like this, and you see something which is written sum of line total, and there is some heighted bar which is shown, and this is a clustered bar chart, column chart, right? Now, if you see over here, it is somewhere 80 million rupees. It is written now. See, we have not defined any currency or something like that, but still it has written rupee because see, it depends upon the configuration how you have installed the Power BI. So it was installed in English like India, right? So by default currency it has taken is rupee, and the name of this measure is sum of line total. Now what it is like, when we use a pivot table analysis, so the name of variable will appear along with the function, mathematical function that is being used. So what it is happening, it is going to take this column called line total. Now where is this line total? If you go to the table view and if you go to the items list, you will have this data over here, line total, right? And because we have chosen the currency format, by default currency it has chosen is rupee symbol, because this is the local in which my system is installed, Power BI is installed. So if you sum the line total, this is somewhat you will get it. And if you see the measure that is created, this is sum. So basically, because it was a number data, it has taken mathematical function called sum. Now, whenever we present this report to somebody who is not from a technical background, they will not be able to understand what is this line total, right? So this measure, this is known as a measure, and this is known as an implicit measure because it is generated by system. System has taken the name of the column and mathematical function which is used, that is sum function, and it has sum of what? Line total. So line total is the name of variable. So this is known as implicit measure, means it is a software defined, it is defined by system. But we are never going to use this implicit measure. We are always going to create explicit measure. We will define our own currency and the name of variable which we wanted. Okay, so let me just remove this as of now. So now the first thing that we are going to learn is how to make explicit measure. Now, because I know, so this is my sales or this is my revenue, so I want my name revenue to appear over here in the every visualization. So what I'm going to do is, wherever you want to create the measure, you have to select first the table. Okay, first of all, you have to select the table, and on the table tools pane, you will see something known as a new measure. And if you see, there is a calculator symbol which is there. right? Alternatively, I always prefer in contextual menu. So if you just right click on this item, you will see the contextual menu. Here also it is written new measure, right? See why it is more preferable to select like this, because this measured are tied to particular table. So say for example, if I select the sales staff and if I click on new measure, it will create my measure under that table, right? And I want to place my measure inside this table, that is fact items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the items and I'm going to create new measure. Now this measure is an explicit measure that I want to create. So if you see by default name measure is written, so you will see a calculator symbol that is being shown. So this is known as explicit measure. The calculator symbol represents explicit measure. I want to give this name revenue. Revenue is a term which is used in a business world so that everybody understands it, right? Sales, there is a word. Revenue, there is a word. Now, I have to do some calculation over here. So, what is my calculation? Basically, I have to sum my line total. So, I'm using a DAX function called sum. Okay, and you have to use is equals to sign before that function. Let's me click on tab. So you will see a sum function will be activated. So now what it is going to do, it is going to sum all the values. Now where is my data? So if you see over here, it is in the F item line total. So anyway, if you write down line, you will see in the drop down automatically wherever the word line will appear, it will show it to you. And here if you see, this is known as a structured referencing. So first of all, the table name is there. Inside the square bracket, the variable name or header name is there. So what it is going to do, it is going to take all the values from fact item table. From that item table, it is going to take line total column and it is going to sum, right? Let me close the bracket. It is going to fact item table in that line total order, that is line total column, and it is going to sum it, and it is going to give the name revenue. Okay, so this is the argument that is there. Press enter. So if you see, a revenue measure will be created over here, right, inside the item tables. Now we need to select what appropriate format. So since we have already defined that this is in the currency format in the Power Query, currency formatting will be taken automatically. But from here we need to choose, say for example, this is my English United States dollar. Generally we prefer English United States dollar as a currency, and we want up till zero decimal. Since this is a very huge figure, we always want zero decimal, and there should be tick mark, that is display the value in this column with commas as a thousands separator. So from the unit place, I want the separator at every three digits, thousands, right? So now my revenue, which is an explicit measure, that is there. Now if I hold and drag it, the revenue over here, you will see, let me just resize the visualization. You will see this is known as a focus mode. So if you click on focus mode, it will display in the full screen window. So if you see now my currency is defined $18 million, right? And the name is revenue. Now, if you see, the word revenue appears over here. Why? Because I have created an explicit measure where I have defined that this is a currency and it is United States dollar. And I want currency formatting as a in terms of thousand separator, as well as it is by defaultly taken in terms of million. Right? Now, this, if you want to go back, you just click on back report. So you'll be coming into the normal visualization. Now, the first thing, so this is a measure name revenue. So this name will appear in the every visualization, and this is known as explicit measure, right? Wherever you have calculator symbol in front of the variable name, so that is your measure, that is explicit measure that you have defined, right? Now let me just remove it. After creating this measure, the first thing that you need to do is check for the data. Now, the first thing that you have to plot is something which is known as a matrix. If you see the last third row and you will see the fifth column, right? One, two, three, four, five. This is a fifth column, and this is one, two, three, four, five. So if you see fifth column, fifth row, it is matrix. Just click on the matrix. So you will see something like this. Now this is a kind of a pivot table. If you can see, we have some rows, we have some column, and we have some values inside it. And I want, if you see over here, you see in this visualization, you have rows, you have columns, and you have values. It is exactly similar to like a pivot table that we plotted in our Excel. So let's say, for example, let me click on revenue. Revenue, I am putting it inside the value. So you will see revenue here it is 8 million that is written. Now we have to check out what the first thing, whether my data is correctly arranged or not. So for that, I am going to calendar timeline and I want to see by month and by year. So I'll put my month variable into the row. So you will see automatically, the things will be adjusted over here in the visualization. And here I want it into the column field, right? So if you see now the data, let me just put it in the focus mode. The data is something arranged in a very random manner. So if you see month is like arranged in April, August, December, February, January. So if you see the month are arranged into alphabetical order. Why? Because in our data table, when we have created the calendar, it is having text data, and text data will be always sorted as an alphabetical order when you put it inside a visualization. Similarly, if you put year inside the column, in the column part, you will see the year and you will see all the values that are listed over here. Now, since this is a very random and scattered arrangement, I want to first arrange my month name into the serial order or month number order, because in month number order I am having 1, 2, 3, 4 up till 12. 1 refers to as the January and 12 refers to as the December. So I want to arrange, if you see over here, I want to arrange my month. As of now, the arrangement of month is in alphabetical order, but I want to arrange my month column by month number wise. So how you do it? You select the month column, you go to column tools, and you will see something known as sort column by. So if you see, as of now, the sorting is done as per the month column itself. If you see, it's a text data, so text is always arranged as per alphabetical order. I am arranging my month by month number. So this is a great feature. You can sort any column by any another column, right? Now, if I go to my visualization in the report view, you will see the month are arranged from January to December, and the year are arranged in 2017, 18, 19, and 20. Now, looking to this data, we can see that my data is actually starting from July 2017 and is ending on June 2020. So, from this data, I can infer that this data is given in terms of a financial year. Now, this company works in a financial year that starts from July and its end in June. So if you see the data from July 2017 to June 2018, this is your financial year 2018. If you see July 2018 to June 2019, this is your financial year 19. And if you see July 2019 up till June 2020, that's your financial year 2020. So now this data is given in terms of a financial year. But as of now, our data from the calendar timeline, we can understand that this data we need to transform, and we need to transform in terms of financial year calendar. As of now, whatever the calendar that we have created is a normal calendar. And if you see the data, the arrangement of the data is given in terms of what? Financial year. So what is my financial year? June 2017 to June 2018 will be my financial year 2018. June, sorry, July 2017 to June 2018 will be my financial year 2018. From July 2018 to June 2019 will be my financial year 2019. And from July 2019 to June 2020 will be my financial year 2020. So basically, I have to shift my all the 6 months to the next year. Every month that is starting from July, August, September, October, November, December. This all 6 months has to be transferred to the next year. Okay, so the first transformation that we are going to do is shift all this June, July, August, September, October, November, December to the next financial year, and January, February, March, April, May, and June, it is into the same year, right? So we are actually shifting all the months after June, right? After June, whatever month is there, it should be shifted to next financial year, and the month which are lesser than June, it should be there in the same calendar year. So let me just create one another column. So I have to create a new column called fiscal year. Now let me add a new column and I will say this column as a fiscal year. Now we are going to use a conditional statement called if. Now see how I'm doing the calculation. For the calculation, I required some numbers. So I am having some column known as month number. So I am doing calculation based on month number. If if is one of the conditional statement function which is defined in the DAX library. So first is logical test that we need to give it. So see how I'm doing it. If my calendar, this is my calendar table and this is my month number. So if my calendar month number, okay, try to understand this argument. If my calendar month number is greater than 6. Now why greater than 6? Because my month is starting from July. So if you see the month name July stands for 7 number into the month number list. So I have to go one month before into it so that make sure that July becomes my first month. So to make sure that July 7 number becomes my first, I have to take one number lesser. So if my calendar month number is greater than 6, then what is the argument? Result if true. So I have to add one calendar year into the existing calendar year because I have to shift to the next year. So calendar year, whatever it is, plus 1. So what will happen? 2017 data will be converted to 2018. July 2017 to December 2017 will convert into 2018. July 2018 to December 2018 will convert into 2019. And July to December 2019 will convert into 2020. Comma. What if it is false? So if your month number is not greater than 6, not greater than 6 matlab, means what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means January, February, March, April, May, and June. So this month should be in the same calendar year. So I am putting argument calendar year as it is, right? Because I want that data to be in the same year. So what will happen? July to December 2017 will convert into 2018 and January to June 2018 will be in the 2018 year itself, right? Then July 2018 to December 2018 will convert into 2019 and January to June 2019 will be in the 2019 year. July to December 2019 will convert into 2020 and January to June 2020 will be in the same 2020 year. So we have transformed our calendar year, normal calendar year to financial year, that is fiscal year. Now similar calculation I have to do it. I'm again creating a new column. I'm again creating a new column and this column will be fiscal month number. Now, what is the argument that I have to give it? Again, I am using the same logic of month number. If my calendar month number, if my calendar month number is greater than 6, why? Because July is the month that I have to make it first month. Now, if you try to understand, July is a 7 number month, right? So 7 I have to convert into 1. So how I can convert 7 into 1? By subtracting 6 from the existing calendar month. Okay, so what is the argument that I'm going to write it down? Calendar month number minus 6. Now try to understand this argument. If calendar month number is greater than 6, means what? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So from this, all this month, you have to subtract 6. So 7 minus 6, that will become 1. 8 minus 6, that will become 2. 9 minus 6, that will become 3. Similarly, 12 minus 6, that will become 6. Up till 12 it will go. Why? Because there are only 12 months which are there in calendar. Else, suppose if it is false, then what is the next argument? Say for example, if my month is 1, 7 to 12 calculation is done. Now what is left from 1 to 6? So 1 should be converted into 7 number of the month. Why? Because I want January to appear after December, right? So since my calendar month is starting from July, so July is my 1, then August, September, October, November, and December. December will be my 6, and January I want it as a 7. Now the number of January is 1, and I have to make it 7. So I have to add 6 into the calendar month. So what I will do is I'll add calendar month number plus 6. So what will happen? I am shifting the entire 6th month to the next month, and I'm putting all the 6th month above to be downward. Let me press on enter. I'll just show you to the visualization how it is working, right? And then I want what? Fiscal month. I also want the name of the month. So I'm just putting new column and I'll just say fiscal month. And the fiscal month will be calendar month itself. The name of the month will never change. So already I have generated calendar month. So I want the same calendar month name to appear into my list. Now let us just go into the visualization and let's see what happens over here. So if you see now over here, I am removing my month column and I am removing my year column. Instead of this, I am putting my fiscal year into the column part and fiscal month into the row part. So now you see the month has been arranged, but still there is a problem. The fiscal month are arranged in alphabetical order. Why? Because we have not sorted our fiscal month by fiscal month number. Why? Because we want July to appear first. As of now, fiscal month. If you go into the calendar table, you see fiscal month. As of now, it's a text data, so it is arranged by default in alphabetical order. But what we have to do is we have to sort this fiscal month by fiscal month number. Why? Because January should be on 7th number. So I'm selecting fiscal month. I'll go to sort column by and I'm going to select fiscal month number. Why? Because I want the name of the month to appear as per the numbering of fiscal month. So now if I go to visualization, if you see the data will be arranged into July to June. Now this data is sorted into the exactly structured manner in which it is given. Right, so this is a financial data which is actually given and it is now in the structured manner. Now the most important thing that we need to remember is our data must be into the structured format. Now what do we mean by structured? The data should be given in terms of rows and columns, and as per the timeline the data should be there. Right, so if you see there should not be any missing value. July to June 2018, this is financial year 2018, this is financial year 2019, and this is financial year 2020, right? So this is the perfect data that I am having it, right? So this visualization is known as a matrix, right? Now we can actually format this visual. The first thing that we need to is check for the data. And whenever you check for the data, you have to plot matrix. Now you can just format this table also by going into the format your visual. So first thing that we are going to see is layout and presentation style, grade, blank row, values. Now if you see the values, you can just change the values from here. You can just increase the size of the font in the uh, visualization. Then here you have something known as bold. So all your text will be bold. Then you have color to be selected. Then background color, alternate color. These are the options that are available, right, in the values tab. Then we have column header, column heading. I wanted to keep it bold. Then you have something known as row header. I also wanted to keep it in bold so that uh, it looks good. Then we have something known as column subtotal. It is on, so you can put it off also. I'm putting it on. Row subtotal, you can just off it. You can just switch on it. Then you have something known as grand total, right? So that is this grand total. You can just change the color of the text if you want it. I'm not changing specific column. So if you see, if you want to apply any specific formatting to this column, then you can go for specific columns. Then cell element, if you want to do any conditional formatting, this we'll see it right in the later part of the video, that how you can add cell elements. So basically it's a conditional formatting. URL icons, if you want to add any icons, if you want to set any height and width of the image size, then you can do it from here, right? You can just manually also adjust it. This is image size, right? And sparkline, if you want to add any sparkline, then you can do it. So these are the part in visual part. Then in general tab, you have something known as properties tab. If you see the size and height, you can just adjust manually also, and you can just change it from here also. Then position, it is very important. Where is the position you want it? Padding. These are basically the gap that are existing between our visualization. Okay, so you can increase, decrease it. Advanced option, title, and effects. This is most important. Effects, visual border should be on. Right, in visual border, you can choose the color that you want it. I want it particularly black border, rounded border if you want it, and I don't want any shadow. Right, then data format, it is on the revenue part. I'm not applying it in format. Header icon, it is on. Tool tips, basically it's a extra information if you want it, that we'll see in the later part. So these are the things that is there in the general tab, right? So generally we require borders to be there, right? So that it is there. So these are the options that you can just check it out, because each option is having their own importance, right? And you can just learn it by just experimenting it with whatever things that we wanted. Okay, so this is the first visualizations that we have built it, which is known as a matrix. And this is the first thing that we need to do it, because until and unless we don't have our data in the structured format, whatever calculation or whatever analysis that we are going to do, it is going to give us the wrong answer, right? So this is the first thing that we have to see whether the data is in structured manner or not. And for that, we are going to use matrix. And if you see over here, we have created a measure, which is an explicit one called revenue, right? So this is how actually we first of all check the data. So in this video, we have created a calendar table, and we have converted into a financial year calendar by with the help of if conditional statement. And we have created fiscal year, fiscal month, number, and fiscal month. And then we have created a visualization called matrix, and in matrix we have transformed our normal calendar data to fiscal calendar data, and we have seen that how we can create the data into a structured manner, right? So this is how we actually create the first part of our visualization, which is a matrix visualization. So I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have any kind of questions or a query, then definitely you can ask me to the comment section. I hope you have liked the video, and I hope you have enjoyed it. See you in the next video. Thank you.